What are you practicing today? If you don't know, you need to watch this video because I'm going to show you what you need to practice today, tomorrow, the next day. Basically, in this video, I'm going to show you how to have an endless source of inspiration in your practice session, and not just any kind of practice session. The practice session that is going to really help you develop who you are on the instrument. And again, it's a very unique answer for everyone, but I'm going to show you the steps that I usually use to figure out what I need to work on. Therefore, what you need to work on too if you follow the steps. Grab your guitar. Let's get started. Today's video is a little different in the sense that it's an organic video. What I mean by that is that it's kind of alive. It's going to evolve as we go. I don't know exactly what's going to come out of it, but I do know that I'm going to show you how to figure out how you should practice and what you should practice. And the answer is going to be different. So what I'm going to find here today, for me, what I'm supposed to practice might not be what you're supposed to practice. So it's something you've got to try out. But if you follow the steps, it's really simple, and you will have an infinite amount of different things to practice. Every day, something new. And you're going to coach yourself as you're becoming a better player. It's really simple to do. But you need to be very sincere and honest about your playing. And the best way to do that, I think the best way to know how you sound to others is to record yourself. So if you have something where you can record yourself, awesome. If not, you can still do it, but you really have to pay attention to the split personality that's within every musician. There's the player and there's the listener. And you have to dissociate those two things. So what I'm going to do here is play a chord on my keyboard, and I'm going to take the approach of a lead guitar player, not meaning that I'm just going to play solos, but meaning that I am the only guitar player in the band or the musical piece here. And I'm going to take a melodic approach because that's what I've been focusing on for the last few years, and I really like that. And I'm going to play a chord on my keyboard that I will sustain. I've got a sustain pedal, meaning that if I press on the pedal, which is on the floor, you don't see it, the chord is going to last forever until I release my foot, and then it stops. And I'm going to play over it. And I'm just going to play, not really knowing what will come out of it, just enjoy listening to what I'm hearing and playing over it, trying to become one with the chord that I'm playing over. We're not going to talk about harmony or theory. That could be an area of study, but we're going to talk about becoming one with your instrument. So I'm going to play a chord. I'll play an A minor chord, A minor 7 maybe, and I'm just going to improvise. So over this, I can focus A minor pentatonic, A Dorian, A Phrygian, A Aeolian. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to go with Dorian, A Dorian, and just improvise a little bit. Until something comes out. Okay, right there, something came out of my playing. I wasn't very comfortable there. I kind of got my fingers kind of took over, and I wasn't really one with what I was playing. At least it didn't feel like it. Maybe it sounded like it, but it didn't feel like it, and that's what I need to focus on. So I was playing in this area of the fretboard right here. I was doing something kind of like that, in that zone of the fretboard. And for some reason, so I did a slide at some point and played some notes in that zone of the fretboard, and it just didn't feel right. So I'm going to develop some licks, some musical ideas that really focus on that. And I'm going to try to pinpoint, so that's where you need to be honest, pinpoint what caused the problem. What was it? Was it a rhythm thing? Was it a technique thing? In this case, I think it was a rhythm thing for me. I'd have to go back and listen to it, but it just didn't feel that I was really in tune rhythmically. Maybe it sounded okay, but I wasn't connecting with the idea. So what I would do here is try to come up with something similar to what I was trying to do. And I was trying to do, I'm going to sing it, something like da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. That was the rhythm I was going for. Da-da-da-da. Now, you might not know that because you're not in my head, but that's kind of what I was trying to do. Da-da-da-da. That. And I was in that zone of the fretboard. For some reason, it didn't really work. So I'm going to develop some ideas using that. So, da, 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 da. See, and I can tell that was it because it's not very comfortable. It doesn't sound as precise as I want it to be. So why? Well, it could be a multitude of things, and that's going to depend on you. In this case, if I analyze what was going on, I was sliding from a note to a note just below, and that was it right there. So I played two notes on one string. They were tied by a slide, and then one note here and one note here and back to that note. So that's what caused the problem. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, as far as the number of notes. That is kind of difficult for me. So now that I know that, now that I extracted from what didn't feel right, the reason it didn't feel right, I'm going to focus on that. That's going to be the object of my practice session. So I'm going to start without a backing track. This is just pure guitar research, personal research. And I'm going to just try within a given key. In this case, we're in A Dorian. I'm going to try to find different ways, different strings, different frets where I can use that two notes tied by a slide and then kind of an arpeggio thing where you have one note and back to that string. Well, I could play it maybe here. Why not? It respects the characteristic of that idea that I had trouble with, where I have two notes tied by a slide, and then another note on the adjacent string, just one note, and then another note on the adjacent string, and then back to that string. You can hear that both ideas are tied together. And I'm just going to search around. Multiple ways to doing that. Once I'm comfortable with that flow of notes, the slide, and then the arpeggio type of thing, that's where I go back to my backing track or my chord or whatever it is that I'm playing over, and I'm just gonna try that in real time. I don't have to just play that note, or just play that lick. It can be a combination of different licks, but I'm trying to find different ways to doing that. Really focusing on what caused me problems. And that's one aspect of my practice session. Once I incorporated that technique or that made that difficulty less difficult, once I did that, that's where I can continue improvising over the chord and until I find something else that is kind of a stumbling block. Or until I find something that sounds fresh and exciting to me that I haven't played before, and that would also be the object of my next practice. Let's try it that way. Instead of finding something that didn't sound right, let's play until something sounds interesting. So I'm going to change my chord just for fun. I'll play C major 7. And I'll improvise with a scale that would fit that chord. There are multiple ones as long as the scales include the notes of my chord, which are root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, major 7th. I'll play C Lydian, for example. just improvising until I find something interesting. A very basic idea. That is cool. Okay, let's take that idea, which sounded fresh and interesting to me, and develop that. That's going to be the object of your next mini section of your practice routine, your daily practice. So what do we have this here? Why was this interesting? Was it the notes? Was it the rhythm? Was it something else, a movement? That's going to be a personal answer that you're going to have. For me, it's the movement. I liked that. And so I'm going to analyze that movement. What was that? I had 4 notes. And the movement of these notes was, I had a starting note, a note that is lower. I'm not thinking in terms of intervals, just movement. So I had a high note, a note below. The third note is a little higher, but not as high as the first note. And the fourth note was lower than all the other notes. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the movement. Da, 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 da. Okay? So if I apply that same movement somewhere else in the scale, even if I don't follow the exact intervals, I'm going to be creating some ideas that are based on the concept that I really liked, that I found interesting. And that'll be my research time. So I had this. And I'm considering that I'm in C Lydian. So it's a 4-note idea, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the movement, again, is da, ba, ba, bum. Could play, maybe. That works too, right? I'm just using the scale as a canvas and following the same direction. Now, the notes themselves could be anything within the scale. I don't have to respect what I had originally here, which was a note, a third below, a second above, a fourth below. I'm not following that. I'm just following the main direction. That works too. That works too. Just following that direction. Then I'm going to use my chord and just improvise over that and see what happens. So same chord, C major 7. And I make that part of my routine and develop my own way of phrasing using that exact concept, the direction. So it's playing to bring out something out of your playing that you either like or dislike, and take that, research other ways to find musical ideas that use that exact either difficulty or thing that you liked, write licks, and then improvise using that in your playing until something else happened, good or bad. And that's how you can take something and make it part of your practice. And every day you're going to have something new if you do that. But you've got to be very aware of what you're playing, when you're playing it, and how you're playing it. But that's today's idea. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I love sharing whatever insight I have, and I love learning from you guys too. There's so much that I'm learning doing these. If you want to go a little further, if you want to check out my full guitar program, you can do it, and you can sign up for the free Music Theory DNA worksheet. It's an introduction to my full course. It's completely free. All you need to do is enter a valid email at guitarinfusion.com. I will send you the free Music Theory DNA worksheet. I'll teach you how to use it. And even if you stop after that free session, it's going to give you some good insight if you're interested in music theory and having a healthy approach to music theory. That's going to help you with all my videos, basically. I kind of use that concept, and I would love for you to check it out. And at the end of this free series, I will tell you about my full course, the Guitar Infusion course, which is a paid course, but it's really going to help your playing if you feel stuck and if you feel that you need to apply music theory to your own playing. Anyways, check it out. I'll tell you all about it, and you get the free introduction course, The Music Theory DNA. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this around and watch more videos. I'll see you next time. Salut.